What's going on? It's the Rap Nerd, and as I've done with other films in the past that I adore, this is another entry into that segment. And with it being the 6th anniversary of this film releasing, I figure why not make this video? So here we go. Why I love Batman vs Superman. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. If you do not like this movie and you stumbled across this video somehow, you can do one or two things. First, you can just keep it pushing and act like you didn't see this video, or two, you can keep watching, be respectful, and don't leave any, smart remarks in the comments telling me why you hate the movie and why it sucks and blah 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 blah. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to make points and argue what you think about the film. I'm not here for that. I'm just here to express my love. So I'm putting it out there now. I don't want any type of drama in the comments or anything, because for whatever reason, when I say or when anyone says that they like Batman vs Superman, you never know what you're gonna get. So, boom, had to put that out there. Now, this movie actually was my favorite comic book movie before Zack Snyder's Justice League came out. Yes, I have Zack's full trilogy as my favorites, and you can either take it or leave it. I love it. Hey, it's whatever. But this one was my favorite before JL, because this pretty much did what Man of Steel, and as you see, I made a video called Why I Love Man of Steel. It did everything in that movie and just amplified it. Like, it's ridiculous. Some of the same, treads the same waters of intensity and excellence. The score is beautiful. All of that stuff I'm gonna get into it. Just a little bit more by one. It might be a little all over the place just because I love the movie, and it's even helpful that I just rewatched it like last week. So it's really right there in the back of my head. So first thing, the addition to adding Batman in this movie just made it go. It just made it skyrocket. Batman is literally my favorite comic book character of all. So to see him in this movie portrayed the way he was, I freaking loved it. I never did a ranking video about this, but as far as Batman portrayals in live action, Ben Affleck is my favorite one. I feel like he looks the part most. I mean, because my Batman, outside of the comics, was the live action, not the live action, the animated series, and to me, Batfleck he's that, personified. I mean, he looks just like that Bruce Wayne. Batfleck has the best build of all of them. He's 6'4", 2-something, solid as hell. When he walks in a room, he demands physical respect, and he has a presence about him. He talks like it. He has the playboy vibe. He also has this recluse vibe of not really speaking like that in this movie. And I think he just nails it. Even like the rage-filled intention, like when he speaks, him and Alfred's back and forth is just like their relationship. I just love it, and I think Batfleck just knocks it out the park, man. I think he still has the best Batman suit of all. I think his is so comic book accurate, it's perfect. I love his theme too. I think the addition to his theme, as well as the other Man of Steel stuff that carries on, just takes it to another height. I mean, from Beautiful Lie, the way the way that it flows and the emotion that builds in that theme, it just takes me places whenever I hear it, especially when the strings really get going. Because it starts with a little piano, and then once it gets to that, it really just takes me places, man. You feel the emotion in the music, and I love that Batman theme with the big blaring bass, boom, 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 boom. Like when he walks in the room, that's the kind of music that definitely speaks to Batfleck. I mean, that dude is huge in that suit, man. So him being added to the movie is ridiculous. I feel like, again, he's perfect. Even with the whole, I'll get to the themes in a second, but him just being in the movie definitely lifts this film up way more than its prequel, Man of Steel. Another thing I love about the movie is, of course, Henry is Superman. He is the Superman. He's the best Superman ever to me. Good luck finding somebody better than that, because he talks like him, looks like him. It's just insane, man. And with the whole characterization of everybody. What I like about Zack, and I've said this, I think, in Man of Steel, but everybody who gets screen time is there for a reason. There's not really anybody where I'm like, they didn't need to be there. Like, it just was kind of included just for the hell of it. And I enjoy even the Jimmy Olsen. Everybody wants to hate on that about, oh, they killed Jimmy, but personally, I don't think that was him. I just think it was some secret agent who chose that name as a dummy name. I think that's just the things that he did as to bring a lot of the comic book stuff like full swing and right in your face. Excuse me. Great characterization, and here the cinematography, Lord have mercy. I thought it was great in Man of Steel, but here it's just even better, you know, because he's back with his best combo, in my opinion. Him and Larry Fong made just some gorgeous images, man. Like, Watch by Watchmen is still one of the greatest CBMs to me because it's just how it looks. It's just beautiful. And here we get that same treatment, but with Batman and Superman in the world of DC. Like, it's just every page you turn, similar to Justice League, every page you turn, it's just like a comic book. You can pause the movie at any point and just put it in gold framing and put it on the wall. Such beautiful imagery, man. Like, if I had to choose my favorite shot, it would be between, I got a couple of favorite shots. Superman when he's floating down, holding a girl in Mexico with that yellow ominous glow, and he slowly walks over, hands the girl off to the kid. I love that shot. I love the shot of Superman in the sky with the lightning striking, and even the opposite of that with him in the sun. I love Batman creeping out the fire. Oh man, the cinematography is off the charts. Like, if people dislike this movie, one thing you can say is that it's a gorgeous looking movie, and that's something that I look for a lot when it comes to film. Cinematography is a huge thing for me, so it checked that box off, you know, easy. Next, the action, which is going to segue into something like that warehouse scene, the Batfleck warehouse scene. That's still the best Batman scene ever. Like, that shit is nuts. Like, I watched that on YouTube by itself just because of how crazy it is. I mean, as far as the martial arts and the skill, you see all of that in that entire fight, dog. Like, he's doing, let me start by saying, I'm not like a martial arts expert. Like, I'm not like a black belt or some shit like that, but martial arts has been my hobby since a kid, so that's always something that I've looked at since then, and I've kind of just, you know, not learn like I know how to do this shit, but just learn as in like being able to understand what it is. I've learned different styles of martial arts from a textbook standpoint, just looking at it. And when you watch that fight, he is definitely somebody that trained around the world and knows tons of martial arts, man. I mean, he easily did like 7 or 6 different forms of martial arts within that one warehouse fight. I think that fight was like 5 minutes. It's all on display. Boxing, karate, kung fu, Muay Thai, Krav Maga, if I said that wrong, excuse me, but Jiu-Jitsu. Like, he's reeling these bad boys out one at a time, just unloading on these goons, man, and it is a hell of a sight to see. So it's still peak Batman with that fight. I really enjoyed the fight between Batman and Superman. I think that it was exactly what was needed to be. Some people don't like it, but I think it was perfect. Like, to me, the emotional weight behind it is what makes it so good. You know, and seeing Batman's gadgets at work going against Superman, you see that prep time. Like, you know, they always say Batman can beat anybody with prep time. So it's like you definitely get that in the movie, and I just love everything about it, man. Like, you see the mech suit right there, like, they brought the mech suit from cartoons to life, and that shit is still so dope, man. What else can I say about the movie before I get into like the meat and potatoes of what it is? The Nightmare World, like, I remember being in theaters when that happened, knocked my socks off. I literally was just like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, it is, I couldn't believe it. Like, when Batfleck stands up and he looks over the horizon and sees an Omega symbol burn into the ground, I was like, what? Like, insane, yo, insane. I'm like, we're really taking it here. Like, finally, he's doing this in the second movie. We don't need to do 16 movies just to get to this point. He's teasing it now. We know Darkseid is out there somewhere. We see the parademons flying around, and we have an evil Superman just drop down. Oh boy, that scene. I literally went home and was thinking about that scene for some time because of just how amazing it was. Loved it. And so I'm just talking about the action sequences. What else can I say before I get to meat and potatoes? the thing that's about it, as far as like the surface level stuff that I really enjoyed as a comic book fan, just seeing the clash of these two titans, seeing the way the story develops, seeing how Lex, I'm gonna get into him too, characterization, but that's the surface level stuff. Now, as I said with Man of Steel, I love the movie so much because it opened my third eye when it comes to film. And Batman vs Superman opened that eye even more. You know, what Man of Steel did, again, Batman vs Superman amplified it. And one thing that this movie did and changed my life with, you know, in regards to, you know, what I see now with filmmaking is dialogue, script, what's being said. Like, before BVS, right, I definitely watched movies and I understood, you know, dialogue. You gotta have good dialogue. You know, it has to make sense. Blah 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 blah. I always knew that. I mean, nobody hears certain words. It's like, oh, you know, nobody wants to hear terrible dialogue in a film. But this movie here opened my mind up so much that, okay, I gotta say it. Okay, my name is RapNerd. You know, before I started, you know, I was on my film journey. I was pursuing rap as like my main way of career path, right? I'm no longer chasing this career path. I still love rap and what it, you know, technicality of it. So this movie, for the first time, made me receive the dialogue the same way I would receive some rapidy rap lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like from a technical standpoint of doing lyrical gymnastics. BVS did that to me. There were certain lines that I'm just like, wait a minute. Like the first line that really was like ping was when Bruce is talking to Alfred about the White Russian, and you know, Bruce is like, I think I might know who he is, and then Alfred responds, if it even is a he, for all we know, it could be a ghost, another phantasm. And I heard that and I was like, was that a reference to Mask of the Phantasm? Because you know, it's actually a she, and that's why he said it's like, for all we know, it's not even a he. And I was like, oh snap, this man spitting bars. And from that point on in the movie, my brain was listening for that kind of stuff. And as you know, if you love this movie, you know how dense the script is. You know how complex it is as far as references and the surface and how many layers it goes under. You know, from Lex telling Clark, you know, you're a demon, and the mother of a demon is a witch, and the death of a witch is by fire. That's how his mom died in Man of Steel. Or when he's talking to Superman, just saying like, hey, no magical man in the sky help me escape, you know, a fish from abomination, and speaking about his dad. And then later on it actually happens. Doomsday's about to slug the shit out of Lex, and Batman and Superman just catches him. I was riveted by that, because again, I've never, you know, really watched movies with the ear for these kind of layers in a script. And for the first time, I was really entertained by the script by itself. Like all the other shit that's happening, that's just an additive. Like I was thoroughly entertained by just what's being said, the story. That's the first time I've ever been like that. And this took me on, you know, to this point now. Like I listen to the script and I care about that more than the action in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Because BVS isn't some action-packed slugfest, and I think that's one reason a lot of people don't really like it like that, because or it was sold that way, but it ended up not being that. It's a political thriller. It's not really, you know, a punch fest, a slug, fight it out type movie. It's a very complex, slow burn political movie with a thick script, with layers of information being thrown at you. Like, I mean, like the Sword of Alexander, that's one thing that it's there. And if you're not really familiar, or if that's going over your head, you're just kind of like, what the hell is the point of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a clear reference to what Lex is trying to do to Superman, you know what I mean? And using Bruce as the sword. Like, it's so many different layers in the script that I get entertained just by hearing it, man. Like, and Lex is a character I'm getting into. Like, and every time he speaks, my ears perk up because I know there's gonna be a gem somewhere. Like, the man drops bars all the time. Like, you know, tapping his fingers. The red capes are coming. You and your squadron galloping through the street. It's just like, whew, what? So, this movie opened that up for me, and it retroactively made me like movies in the past that I wasn't, that I thought was just cool, and rewatching them, it just blew it up. Or hell, movies that I did like, and it just made them even that much better because my ears perked up and opened up to like dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when you watch movies, performances is probably up there, and if the story's good or not. You don't really care about how thick and dense the script is and references. But I think, and I'm not saying that every movie has to do that. I'm not saying no other movies did it. I'm just saying this is the one that spoke to me, because I'm thinking when it comes to learning things, sometimes you have to learn it in the way that's easiest for you to process. So for Zack and his crew to put this type of density and thickness on Batman and Superman, two characters that I love, in a comic book movie, it spoke to me like nothing else. You know what I mean? So the script is, opened my eyes to like, okay, pay attention to that pen. What else? And with the script and the story, I just really love the themes that it puts on Front Street. This whole story, and I think one thing people have to realize and think about is this material is based on if Batman and Superman were in the real world. It's not grounding them. It's just like it's keeping these fantastical aspects. But if they were in the real world, how would people act? And this movie is a clear representation of that. And as somebody who, again, I didn't love Superman until Man of Steel. Like I always liked him for the cool action, but Man of Steel and BVS just really honed in on the character and made me think about things. I'm like, it questions, how does he know when to go to the right place? What does he do? How does he make these decisions to go here and not here? It just shows that he's not all knowing. It's funny because Lex's whole beef with Superman was kind of my beef with him. I'm like, you're this almighty God character. Like, how the hell do people just trust you? I don't understand. Like, same with Batman, like, you could burn the city down if you want to. I never understood in the comic books how humans are so easy to be okay with a guy that can fly around and lift buildings, but they're scared of little old Batman. Well, Batman I understand, but they're scared of, like, who's another character, like Green Arrow or some shit like that. Like they're scared of these vigilantes, but Superman's flying around doing all kind of wild stuff. But on the flip side of that, I also understand it because they frame Superman as such a god in this movie that it goes into one of them layered lines. He's like, humans have a gross obsession with power, and we need something to believe in. So when you have a godlike character here that can do anything, you're gonna praise it. It's just how it is, and people are gonna fall on both sides. And I love it that it's a metaphor for xenophobia. Batman is definitely that. You fear what you don't understand. Just like them people who, and it can be boiled down to being an immigrant, or like how I look at it, being a person of color in this country. Sometimes, you looked at it as like, oh, if you don't like it, go back to your country. What are you doing here? We don't really fuck with you like that. We don't trust you. We might work with you and stand beside you while doing this in the streets, but we do not trust you. And that's kind of one of the elements I take away from it. Like, it's feeling like Superman is just like, they put Superman through the ringer more than any other movie ever has done. Like, I love that montage of the political, clips just talking about, like, must we have a Superman? And it's editing the clips with him saving people. And then at the end of the sequence, you just see Superman so let down, like, but he still continues to do it, and that's what makes Superman Superman. I love these themes. It's the idea for me personally of there is no absolute when it comes to what's good and what's bad. It's not 100% one or the other. And all these things are at play. Like, even with Lex is like, I want to prove that nothing can be absolute. With some good, there has to be some bad, and we display that and we see it. Superman took a step forward in the bad direction to beat some sense into Batman. Batman took a whole different step, being somebody he's not. I mean, he's killing in the movie, and the one thing I love about it is yes, it's jarring to see Batman kill, but it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be fun and cool again. It's supposed to be like, holy shit, Batman just shot that dude. Batman just blew up this car and didn't give a shit. That's the purpose. This is based off the Dark Knight Returns anyway, when his damn humanity is damn near lost anyway. You know, but for God's sakes, they showed a Robin suit there with the jokes on you to let you know that he's lost. That's why he's doing all these things. And even the Martha moment, like, I think it's so clever that all these years of reading Batman and Superman, I never ever realized that their mothers had the same name. I think that's clever as hell. That is extremely clever, whether you like it or not. And then just what it stands for, saying Martha lets Batman know that Superman has a mother, a human mother. And that's why he snaps out of it. He's just like, holy shit. This dude has a mom? With a name? That's regular? Like my mom? Love it. Love it. And then you have to, you know, all these themes are just at play, and it just speaks to who humans are. And I love how it's all brought full circle at the end of the movie when Batfleck is like, you know, when Wonder Woman, you know, he's talking to Wonder Woman and she's like, man made a world that I wasn't comfortable with being, so I walked away from it. Which in itself is so powerful. Somebody as powerful as Diana walked away because men were so bad. And that resonates with me because I have had those thoughts. There's some shit that's happened to me and my family in the past that I literally wanted to be like, yo, like Ray Fisher and Justice League, fuck the world. I don't give a fuck about nobody. I'm about to take my things and go live the Unabomber or something in the forest, because people are not shit. They're not. So for Diana to be pushed that level to where she walks away, it just says a whole bunch. But it's full circle because Bruce goes, men are still good. We fight, we kill, but we can reconstruct. We can do better. We will do better. And that final montage, that final monologue that he says sums up the movie in one line. Not one line, and you know, those lines that he said sums up the entire movie and what it was trying to present. And to do all of this with a comic book movie with DC's most famous characters and put these themes in here, I can't ask for nothing better, dog. I love this movie. Those themes alone just speak to me. All of these things that play, I think about them all the time to this day. So I don't, you know, people can shit on all they want to. I don't care. I don't care. The themes are there for you. If it's too much, hey, I get it. I realize that BVS is not for everybody. I don't push it on anybody. I don't tell nobody like, hey, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't care if you don't like it. This is my personal jump. I feel like Zach cracked this movie for me, and I'm thankful every time. So those are the themes. Before we get out of here, last thing, we got one of the best intros to a comic book character ever. Still to this day, that's top 3. Wonder Woman coming down, music blaring. Oh, the shot of the Trinity. Oh. Batman doing the Dark Knight Rises pose as he went from Doomsday. Oh. Doomsday and Superman doing the laser beams. Oh. Come on, dog. And then we get the introduction to the Justice League. Oh. With them fouls. And not to mention Flash showing up at the end of that nightmare sequence saying, Bruce, find us. What? Fire. So I spent too much time. I'm looking now, I'm at 24 minutes. So let me cut it right here and just let you know that I love BVS. It's my second favorite comic book movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, period. And if Zach ever sees this, I got the I got the chance to speak to you one time, well, twice actually, and nicest dude on earth, man. Like, to be a director of these big budget movies and treat people regularly and talk to people regularly like you do, it's inspiring. And Zach is the reason why I'm on this path. This movie is part of the reason why I'm on my filmmaking path. So I'm going to be forever thankful, forever grateful for this movie, and I love it, man. So let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you like it, I don't want it, no snark. Please leave that to yourself. But if you do love it, you do like it, let me know in the comments how you feel. If you like my content, like, subscribe. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.